I did not know that.
Welcome to episode 3, cartoon characters based on real people. This is Tony Boy, and remember to subscribe to my channel. Audiences young and old have always loved animation and cartoons. As this clip from the 1902 movie A Trip to the Moon shows, it's been a part of film since the beginning. In 1928, Disney came out with a short called Steamboat Willie starring Mickey Mouse. It was the first Disney cartoon with synchronized sound, and it was a hit. Soon after this, cartoons became a staple in the film industry. Now you might think that this in fact is Mickey Mouse. And that's where you'd be wrong. This is actually from a Looney Tunes short from 1930 that came out 2 years after Steamboat Willie. It was directed and illustrated by two people who had previously worked for Walt Disney. If you squint real hard, you might be able to see the resemblance between this mouse and Mickey. They say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Like this imitation of Mickey Mouse, many of the cartoons you grew up watching were imitations of real people, and you probably didn't know it. And that's what we're going to talk about in this episode. Let's start with a cartoon character that a lot of people are very familiar with, good old Fred Flintstone. The Flintstones ran in prime time from 1960 to 1966. It didn't take long for most people to notice that Fred Flintstone sounded and behaved very much like Jackie Gleason's character of Ralph Cramden on The Honeymooners. Gleason, of course, noticed too, and he wasn't happy about it. He began talking about suing Hanna-Barbera, the production company that made the Flintstones. The trouble was, Fred Flintstone had become someone whom children across America loved. Gleason's agent talked him out of it. He said, "Do you really want to be the guy who took Fred Flintstone off of television?" Let's jump to another well-known Hanna-Barbera cartoon character named Yogi Bear. While Hanna-Barbera denied it, it was pretty obvious that they had named him after a famous ball player named Yogi Bear. Bear actually sued for defamation, but he lost in court. The inspiration for Yogi's voice, hat, and mannerisms was said to be that of the character of Ed Norton, played by actor Art Carney. And Norton just happened to be Ralph Cramden's best friend from, again, The Honeymooners. Look familiar? That's Desi Arnaz, known for playing Ricky Ricardo on I Love Lucy, and he's singing his hit song, Babalu. Desi was a Cuban, and he had a rather thick Spanish accent. Anybody remember this guy? He had a thick Spanish accent, and his name was Babalu. He was a sidekick to Quick Draw McGraw, and both were produced by Hanna-Barbera. And as you'll soon see, they like to base their cartoons on real people. Both Hanna-Barbera's Top Cat and Hokey Wolf were almost identical in voice and personality to Phil Silver's conniving TV character of Sergeant Bilko. Actor and comedian Joe E. Brown was famous for his yell. Hanna-Barbera must have really liked that yell because it appears they modeled two characters after this comedian. Peter Potomus with his famous Hurricane Holler, and Lippy the Lion. Lippy's unhappy sidekick, Hardy Har Har, was modeled after a character called Mr. Postman on the old Burns and Allen radio show. Let's quickly take a look at some classic cartoon characters and the people they are associated with. There was a program called Auggie Doggie and Doggie Daddy. Doggie Daddy and Spike the Dog were said to be modeled after actor Jimmy Durante. Wally Gator seemed to be an impression of actor and comedian Ed Wynn. Next, we have the Ant and the Aardvark. The Ant sounded a lot like Dean Martin, and the Aardvark comedian Jackie Mason. I'll bet you didn't know Archie Andrews is said to be modeled after Mickey Rooney in the Andy Hardy movies. Jabberjaw was almost a clone of Curly from the Three Stooges. And it's been speculated that the Vultures from Disney's Jungle Book were based on the Beatles. Let's close this episode up with some more modern cartoons. Johnny Bravo. Hiya! Elvis Presley. Thank you. Thank you very much. Jorgen von Strangle from Fairly Odd Parents seems to be based on Arnold Schwarzenegger. Edna Mode from The Incredibles appears to be based on Edith Head, who was a famous fashion designer. And to close this episode out, let's look at Shrek, who seems to be modeled after the wrestler Maurice Tillet. Just for fun, look up these actors and cartoons and see if you can see the similarities. Post any cartoons that you think I missed in the comments below. Hey, and make sure you subscribe to my channel, and thanks for watching.